The text, the book of Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 to 37. Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 to 37. Matthew 5, 33 to 37. Integrity and honesty. Again, ye have heard that it has been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thy oath. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne, neither by the earth, for it is the footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, 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 nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these comes of evil. This is our assignment tonight. We want to digest this passage, and it is about integrity and honesty. In today's lesson, we will be looking at a few things. We will look at the things that help us build integrity in the society. We want to look at swearing. What is the meaning? We'll also look at oath. And then we'll also look at if swearing or taking an oath really gives us, build our integrity. We want to also look at where do people normally swear, or on what ground or what occasion do people normally swear. Next week, we'll be looking at the consequences of oath and the way out. And in rounding up today's lesson, we want to look at some common reasons why people swear. So to begin, we can define swearing: a solemn appeal to a deity or to some reverend person or thing to witness one determination to speak the truth, to keep a promise. It's a solemn appeal to a deity, to God or someone great or something that is great, as a witness to speaking or doing the truth or being committed to a task that is given. A statement of promise strengthened by such appeal. Swearing can also be a statement of promise. That is an oath, please. But swearing is just a promise or say firmly that you are telling the truth, or that you will do something or behave in a particular way. So swearing is a promise you made, while an oath is an appeal we make to a deity. But to create a platform for this is one of the most controversial passages of the Bible. When it involves a circle of unbelievers and believers, this is one of the passages they pick to say that Christianity or the Bible is properly or is not properly explained or understood because of this passage in Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 to 37. Theologians have it that there is a great debate between what Christ meant and what Christ interpreted, what people are interpreting this passage to be. The controversies are that the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, there are numerous types of oaths or swearing. And if Jesus Christ know of this, why did he teach the New Testament believers not to swear. So is it contradicting? Is the Bible against itself? And one of the arguments is that even God himself swear by himself, because there is nobody greater than God to swear, so he swear by himself. So when we look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 to 37, the point Jesus was making is that the nature of God was that God will never change. Circumstances cannot make God change. Boss delay cannot make the promise of God change. Our economy situation cannot make God change. So when God swear, he swear because that is his nature. His nature does not change. If God says he will do a thing, he will do. But we human, we are limited. Circumstances can cause us not to do certain things. You promise to be at work by 5 a.m. in the morning, and it snows heavily. When you made your promise or you take an oath of office, there were no conditions stipulated, well, if the weather is good or if the weather is bad. So a promise is a promise. So from this explanation, many also believe that Jesus' teaching was based on the limitation of human. And that is why he said, you are limited. You have limitations. So because of the limitations in our lives, don't swear, because you cannot turn the black hair to white. But this is what God can do. So if God swore he was going to do it, yes, he can do it. But for us, let your yes be yes and your no be no. We also understand that in many places of work where people take oath, they take oath in marriages. When people are marrying, they take oath. Official duty, like the president, they take an oath of office. An oath is almost the same thing as swearing. You are declaring that you will distinguish your promise or your duty, without fear or favor. And soldiers, when they are enlisted into the army, they take an oath. Lawyers, clergymen, that is pastors, bishops, they take an oath. Presidents and all others, they take an oath. And then relationship that is being built up, that is, they are not yet married, they are just courting each other. We often see that people do engage in, either taking oath or swearing. By his grace, maybe we will deal with that on a different day. There are quite a lot of issues that comes along with this. I won't be able to go into the place of oath today. Maybe some other time again, we will deal with that. When we make promises, we don't often go before the altar. We don't need to go before the altar to make a promise or to make an oath. We can make an oath as we walk along the way. We can make an oath as we eat, as we swim in the river. As we fly on the air, an oath can be taken. But once an oath is taken, there is always a third, party listening. And this is the danger part of it, which we shall deal with next week when we'll talk about the consequences of the oath. But let us look, why do people often want to take an oath? What are some common reasons that pushes people to take an oath? Before then, let's go back to our text in Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 to 37. Again, ye have heard that it had been said by them of old time, that thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thy oath. But I say unto you, swear not at all. So when you look at that word, swear not at all, it is a little bit contradicting to what we see today. Taking an official oath or going into an office is swearing. But this is not what Jesus was talking about, which I have explained before. He speaks about our limitation. He speaks about what we can do as man. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So if I say I'm going to visit the chairman tomorrow, my car can break down. The weather can be very bad and I won't be able to go. And then when that happened, I have just, I didn't fulfill my promise. And so that has impact on chairman waiting for me, especially if he's expecting something. And so this is why Jesus said, don't do it at all. But let us look at why. What are the reasons people swear or take an oath? Remember the topic, honesty and integrity, or integrity and honesty. This is what we're talking about. So one of the primary reasons of people swear is to build honesty. We want people to trust us. We want people to believe us. We want people to see us as genuine, as Mr. Right, as Mrs. Right, or as a genuine individual. And so we swear. Some of us do it knowingly and sometimes unknowingly. When you are being confronted with one question or the other, before you know it, we put our hand in our tongue and point it to heaven. That is to God. You have just swear by God that what you are saying or what you are doing is correct. But Jesus actually told us not to swear because people use swearing to cover dishonesty. They use swearing to cover wrongdoing. After they have done wrong, or when they fail to fulfill a given assignment, they come back to say, well, I do it, I swear. And that is what Jesus talked about. So to build trust or confidence, this is why people swear. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 14. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 14 states, like cloud and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift never given. Like cloud without rain, like cloud. When there is a cloud, the weather is dark, maybe there is wind, everybody's expecting rain. If you were, from where I came from, where we don't have borehole water, when the cloud is, when the sky is, there is a cloud in the sky, there's wind, we are expecting rain. So what you see people do is they will spread basin, bucket under the roof of their house, because as the rain drop, it drop inside. So people are expecting. And so when that kind of condition occur and it ended that the rain did not fall, you will see disappointment. At that time, people will begin to find their way to river. So that is why Proverbs says, like cloud and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift never given. I will give you a gift. I will buy you a car. I will buy you food. I will take you out for lunch. It's good enough. Don't swear, because tomorrow you will never be able to tell what tomorrow will bring. So promises not fulfilled is the most difficult way people suffer from integrity. Not actually because they do not want to do it. There are limitations, there are circumstances that limit them. But because they have already taken an oath, they become a victim to these circumstances. And as a result, we are advised not to swear or take an oath when giving a promise. People swear to build their trust and confidence in people. Trust is foundational to any relationship, whether business, family, whether it is a societal relationship or any form of relationship. Trust is a foundational step in building relationship or building trust. Without trust, nobody will want to do business with you. Without trust, when we go to hospital, we will not be able to allow some certain individual to treat us. And that is why resumes are normally being required. We look at, people want to see your resume to see what you have done before, what you are capable of doing before they can give you opportunity in their establishment. So trust is a very big foundational issue. In building trust, people hide under oath. People hide under swear. They can do this thing. Trust me, I swear to God, I can do it. But this is just to win the confidence of the people. Imagine a colleague who promised to help you complete a project by a certain deadline. The deadline for this project is already stated. There are many things at stake. Your business or your position in your place of work is at stake. And because you know that you are not going to meet up with that deadline, you went to a colleague to help out. And the colleague says, yes, I'm going to help you. Trust me, I'm going to help you. But the deadline came, he never meet up with his promise. So that promise is like a cloud with, a cloud and wind without rain. You will be disappointed. The establishment will be disappointed. It's a chain reaction. And then what happened is that they come back and say, okay, where is the source of this disappointment? Point A, you did not fulfill. They wouldn't know that somebody else made a promise to you that was not fulfilled. And so Jesus said, we should let our yes be yes and our no be no. But how do we build our confidence? Our confidence can always be built by simply developing a normal daily routine in meeting up with your daily assignment. Do not carry anything forward. Don't postpone any assignment or schoolwork. If you have a project that you cannot, that you are given a deadline, always make sure you have extra day ahead of it. It is better you finish that project ahead of time than to fall behind. That creates disappointment. And a colleague who promised to help you complete a project by a certain deadline, by delivering on that promises, that they will not only help you succeed, also establish a sense of trust that can lead to future collaboration. Now, when that colleague help you fulfill that assignment, the establishment will come back again and entrust you with a bigger project. So it is two-way event. When you fail, you lose. When you win, you gain more. So the reason people take oath or swear is to build trust. If the president of the United States failed to take the oath of office, America will not allow him to serve. Number two, to enable accountability. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 4-5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 4-5. He said, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he had no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou should not vow than that thou should vow and not pay. Again, this is where we go back to what Jesus said, building honesty. I would support you in school. I will support your business. I will support your project. Now, I make these promises, but if I am not able to do it, it becomes it is because of the limitation, not that the intention is not there. So because we do not really know what the days will bring, this is why it is better not to vow than to vow and not to pay. Making a promise often serves as a form of self-commitment. You're committing yourself to it. And let's assume we say, okay, the church need, like we have our roof is leaking, and Bishop just sent a message that we should do something about it. Now we say, okay, let's donate towards that project. Somebody promised, $2, $5. The project is going to cost $20 to do. Now, if you made a promise, a vow for $2 and you didn't pay, you are holding that project ransom because we collected the exact amount of money that we need. Now, the reason behind why vow is very, very dangerous is because it involves the name of the law. Commandment number 3 says, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. So don't promise what you cannot do. But at any point you discover that you have limitation, don't pretend this is, don't be smart and believe that they don't know. Go forward. Make your limitation known so that instead of waiting, they will make advancement in covering what you have promised. Consider an individual who vowed to volunteer at a local charity every month. So you have made a promise to volunteer and you are expected to be there every time the event holds. But if you are not there, a lot of things will be on hold because of your absence. And so the Bible says, it is better that you don't vow than you vow and you did not pay. This is not a case of God understand. No, he understands. And that is why Jesus said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. A situation where you are not sure of your income, you can give, what you have. If tomorrow becomes very good, you can double that up and that becomes great. That becomes an act of faith. Then you promise $20. You cannot even pay $1 out of it. If you pay $1, and you double it to $5, it's an act of faith. So Jesus wants us against, making promises that we cannot fulfill. People vow to enable accountability in order to enable accountability, but we must refrain from making vows that are not accountable for, that we cannot accountable for. Number 3, endorsement of agreement. Endorsement of agreement. Genesis chapter 21, verse 27. Genesis chapter 21, verse 27. So Abraham brought sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two made a treaty. Now, agreement is, a promise between two individuals. When you make an agreement between two individuals, okay, I'm going to give you food, and then the other person will say, okay, the food you are giving me, I'm going to work for you. So in sealing this agreement, people make an oath or they swear to seal it. This kind of endorsement or oath comes, sometimes by way of verbal agreement, by paper agreement, or sometimes by bringing a third person to witness our agreement. Abraham and Abimelech make this treaty. Abraham gave sheep and cattle to Abimelech, and the two of them make a treaty of peace. In many situations, especially in business or legal contexts, making formal promises or oaths serves as outline expectation and responsibility clearly. Like I said before, you give me food, I work for you. This is where, endorsement of agreement comes in. But When we fail on one side, you are breaking the promises. You don't expect food if you do not work. You don't expect food if you do not work. In a partnership, two business owners might sign a contract that explain the rules, the profit sharings, and the responsibilities. This formal agreement acts as a safeguard, ensuring that both parties understand their commitment and what is expected of them. When two business partners come together to work together, two of them will have a business proposal. If we have a contract of $1,000, you will be at the site as the operational manager, but I will be as the manager who will be liaising with other people in the office. So when you don't see me on the site, I am walking behind door. But if the operation manager failed to be at the site and the business collapsed, he should not expect any profit sharing. It's a breach of contract. So endorsement of agreement comes when people want to be sure of their responsibilities and their expectations. Number 3 and 4, cultural or religious practice. People engage in oath or swearing because of cultural or religious practices. Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. Numbers chapter 30, verse 2 states, when a man make a vow to the Lord or take an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he must not break his word. Now, because of the cultural or the religious practice, you have made a promise, like we do in Mount Zion, which many people take very lightly. I don't know whether we know that each time we take the membership class is an art of oath that we have taken. And what does that simply mean? You have pledged your commitment to this body. You have pledged your commitment to work with this organization, and breaking it by walking away without formal permission is a breach of promise. Because one, you were prayed for, you were admitted into the fold. For reasons best known to us, we want to leave. It is simple. Go to the head of the organization, the bishop, and say, I have a job far away from this place. I won't be able to be a member anymore. If he chooses to make you a head pastor where you are going, that is fine. But at both parties' agreement, he will just pray for you and say, God will lead you to a better place. What that does is that you are out of his perimeter as a member that he prayed for every day. Number 2, financial obligations that is expected from you are cut off. We no longer expect that. We no longer put our eyes on that. And so those two responsibilities must be defined very clearly when you are in an organization. Many cultures, religious traditions incorporate oath and vow into significant life events, underlining the importance of commitment to those contexts. During a wedding ceremony, couples exchange vows in front of witnesses, often invoking God or a higher power. I have seen couples during argument, they will say, well, I have right to do anything I want to do because you didn't pay my bride price. You don't have any right over me. But when the traditional or the wedding ceremony is done, they became, committed because they have had this exchange of vow or take an oath in the presence of other people. And so they become legally binding. Number 5, ensuring emotional assurance. Ensuring emotional assurance. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 16 to 17. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 16 to 20. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let God even require it at the hand of David's enemy. 17. And Jonathan caused David to swear again because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Let's spend a little time here ensuring emotional assurance. This is a very sensitive time, and I want to deal with it from the boyfriend and girlfriend perspective. Boyfriend and girlfriend perspective. You are dating each other. You are so emotional, and because of lack of confidence on one person, you are forced to take an oath. You are forced to make a promise. I'm going to marry you. If I don't marry you, I should die. And then some of us go beyond there. We do blood work. We do, we cut our hands, and then we exchange the blood, either inside a cup of water, mixed with the two blood, and then both parties drink it, or they lick the finger individually. But whichever way this is done, this is to ensure assurance. You want to put something there that will ensure that you are going to be there. This is detrimental. This is something that we must not engage in. And this is why Jesus said, let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Ensuring emotional reassurance or assurance that I am going to be there for you. I will always love you. This is detrimental. David and Jonathan made this commitment. And it becomes difficult for Jonathan, after they make this commitment, to side the father to fight against David. Instead, he even became, a David protector, lying to the father that David is not feeling fine. He began to interrogate the father. Why do you hate this man? What are you doing? Because of the oath they already take, it was difficult for Jonathan to go against the plan of David. Promise can be a source of comfort and reassurance, particularly in times of uncertainty or distress, helping individuals feel support. You are in school today as a boy or as a girl. Your parents can be transferred. Issues can come up. Better choice can come tomorrow. What do you do? If you imprison yourself today because of emotion, and tomorrow your eyes become clearer, it becomes difficult. Let us assume one party die in the process. Because of that covenant you're already taking, your emotional life becomes destroyed. Even though you marry somebody else, you are always, having that life connection with the person you have already shared your blood with. And so this is why we don't encourage, or we teach against practicing anything of such. If you love an individual, tell them to wait at the appropriate time. Taking your blood is not a guarantee. Drinking your blood is not a guarantee. Now, when a parent promise their child they will attend their school play, provided emotional security. Let's say a child is going for a school sport, and the son or the daughter say, Mommy, Daddy, I want you to be there. This is an emotional support for the child. But if the child looks back, can't find the parents, the child can become discouraged. But besides this, the emotional assurance is that come sun, come rain, I will not leave you. you cage yourself. Better opportunities will come. If God didn't make two of you to be, you are forcing yourself on that individual. And then you will enter into a relationship that you will begin to regret. You remember during courtship, no boy beat the girl or no girl beat the boy. But once you get into a marriage, you get to know each other better. And when that happens, you can't pull out of it because of the covenant or you already take. So ensuring emotional assurance, let your yes be yes. Don't enter into covenant or swear to make your opponent believe you. Number 6, proof of motivation and commitment. Sometimes we want to prove that, yes, we are committed or we are motivated to a particular business or a particular goal. And then we make our commitment, we back up our commitment by oath or by swearing. I can do this work. Trust me, I swear to God. Philippians chapter 2 verse 13 says, Philippians chapter 2 verse 13 says, for it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. Let me read it again. For it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. So you are not of your own. So power to fulfill or to do is not in you. It is God who works in you. And that comes at his will, at his time, at his decision, not your own. And this is where many people felt disappointed. I will do it. It is not you, it's God. So always say, by God's grace, when God permits, I will do it. This is what is required. Making a promise can ignite a sense of purpose and motivation, driving individuals to take action towards achieving their goals. When we make a promise, it ignites a sense of purpose and motivation. Oh, he can't fail because he swear. He can't deceive me because he swear. But the reason Jesus said don't swear is because we cover up wrongdoings with oaths. And so in order to be free from two sins, the sin of what the wrongdoing, and then you are swearing, you are committing another sin. And so Jesus said, don't do it. Let your yes be yes. An athlete might promise their coach that they will train harder in preparation for an upcoming competition. In doing this, he might even make some promises that I will no longer eat pounded yam. I will be going to gym. I will be, making exercise, running every morning to make sure I keep fit. And then the coach will say, promise me. Oh, I swear to God. You have just made a commitment beyond you. This will not only create an emotional distress for you, but it is going to bring fear. Any day you didn't go to practice, your heart will begin to pound. Or better still, when you fail to do what you do, you know that, okay, there is something you have done wrong that is not working in your favor. That fear of failure will bring guilt into your life that would make or mess your life, with time. When such promises are made, it is better to keep to it by saying, by God's will, I will keep fit. Number 7, when we align with social expectations, there are social expectations, align with social expectations. Who can govern Nigeria properly? Who can be a better president? Who will be able to lead? Who will be able to champion our cause? When questions like this come up, people make promises. we will give you good roads, we will give you good food, we will give you water, and they go to the office and raise their hand and said, I swear, whether by Quran, whether by Bible, or by any other thing. But then the truth of the matter is that the resources were there for them to do what they would do, but they failed to do it. But just because they want to align themselves with the society, they make those promises that they know they would not fulfill. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 37, the Bible says, let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than this cometh of evil. In other words, it is motivated by evil. Just say what you can do. If they accept you, let them accept you. If they fail, if they refuse you, it is fine. Society often expects individuals to make commitment, and fulfilling those commitments is seen as a sign of integrity and respect. I will build good roads. You don't have money of your own to do it. I will build schools. I will provide light. Light, a place where there has never been light for 5 years. You are coming to say you will build. You don't even know how many transformers you need to. You make these promises in the morning, you make these promises in the night, and people are expecting you to fulfill. When you fail, you have just invoked the wrath of the people upon yourself. And so what does the Bible say? Is let your yes be yes, and let your no be no. When invited to a friend's wedding, you have, you show respect for the invitation by acknowledging that you will come. And I'm going to be wedding next week. Please, I invite you, Mr. John, to come. Your seat is already reserved. But if I don't see you, you have just, failed your promise. And what that simply means is there's going to be a waste of resources, disappointment, and if you have taken an oath or swear that you will come, you look into it by saying, well, it doesn't mean anything, but it does make a whole lot of things. Next week, we will see who has the power to revoke, a broken promises. Number 8, when action demand explanation, this also is very important. When action demand explanation. When you do a particular thing and maybe people are not too clear about what you did, they are asking you why do you do what you did? You swear in order to convince them so that they can quickly, so that the matter can easily die down fast. There are people who will hear God, they won't say a word again. Bishop always says, when you tell me or tell him that God said you should leave, who is he to question God's authority? All he needs to do is to pray for you. And so this also affects business and our individual relationship. But James chapter 5 verse 12 says, above all, my brethren and sisters, do not swear, not by heaven or by earth or by anything else. You remember, the reason people swear is because they want you to buy their honesty and integrity. They want you to approve of them. They want you to believe in them, that they are, what you are expecting. They are that good man, they are that good woman, they are that good boss, they are that good employee that you are looking for. This is why they swear. And it is not in our best interest to take this step in order to clear ourselves or to make matters faster. We should always end up by telling people exactly what it is. Even if you were going to be blamed, even if people don't believe you, believe in yourself. Number 9, to resolve conflict faster. Like I said before, when people hear God, they are calm. they don't go further than that because God is higher than everybody. Matthew chapter 5, verse 23 to 24. When people want to resolve conflicts, they swear, in order to buy other people over to themselves. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remember that thy brother had aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come offer thy gift. In resolving conflict faster, people swear. But God says, or Jesus Christ said, we should not be fast in giving our gift, but go and reconcile with your brother before you come and do your gifting or your offering. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 23 to 24, it shows us that if you are offering a gift at the altar and you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave it there at the altar. Promises can play a crucial role in resolving conflict by demonstrating a willingness to address issue and mend relationship. So what this is telling us is that relationship is very, very important. But swearing an oath when issues are not resolved, oh, I have no problem with him. God knows my mind is clear, but how clear is really your mind? Oh, God sees every heart. I have no problem with him. But if given the opportunity, if we can hear your prayer in tongues, maybe it's kill him, die, die, die. You are speaking in tongues, but go and reconcile with him. After a disagreement, one friend may promise to apologize and discuss their feelings. This is the process of reconciliation. One person must make that promise that, okay, I will apologize. But if you fail to do that, you have become a promise breaker. Number 10, security mindset. People want to create a sense of security, so they swear. Security is something that you ensure or that protect you, that guarantee your safety. And security can be in form of humor. It can be in form of a gadget. It can be in form of the shirt or the things that you put on. When people have this form of security, they have confidence. And then many people have the mindset that if they believe, if they swear or they take an oath, they have created a sense of security around themselves. In Psalm 91, verse 14, the Bible says, because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he had known my name. Psalm 94 reminds us that God loves us. He will rescue us. He will protect us. This is God's promise. Again, let's go back to why Jesus said we should not swear. God cannot lie. If God gives us this promise, God will do it. But can I tell my children I will protect them? When they are sleeping, I am sleeping. How am I protecting them? And so this is the point why Jesus said, no, don't make such promise. You are human. It is only God that can make promise. So if God swear and said, Alex, I will protect you, God will do that because he neither sleep nor slumber. He is always awake to protect us and to guide us. A child may feel comfortable when a parent promises to be there for them during a difficult transition, such as moving to a new school. This promise creates a sense of what? Stability and safety around the child. But think about it, if the parents is not there on the first day, how devastated that child will be. Therefore, if we must maintain our honesty and integrity, oath or swearing is the two weapons we must not apply. They would destroy our integrity they will destroy our honesty. But let us build on a daily basis this principle of trust by simply saying the truth. When people already sees you or know you to be an honest person, they will not need a further evidence to believe the price you gave, the decision you make, the direction you gave, and the support you gave. Because over the years, they have seen you to be who you are. And therefore, honesty and integrity is through the words of our mouths. It's through what we do every day, not by swearing or taking an oath. God bless you. Please, if you do have any questions, you are free to ask. If you have contribution as well, please go ahead and make your contributions.